Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to another video. It's a scary time to be into modern games, especially somebody that likes to own physical games, whether that's because you can get them cheap in game stores or on sale, on eBay, online, in person, trade them with a friend, be able to resell them online, whatever have you. There's a lot of good reasons to own a physical game, apart from just wanting to actually own your game instead of having it being on a digital storefront that can disappear one day. And I have really bad news for you. Today it leaked that Microsoft and Xbox have plans to release a revision of the Xbox Series X that plans to be all digital. There's going to be a new controller, there's going to be a new console. I'm going to break all of that down here for you guys. But I do just want to mention, I kind of called this just 3 months ago with this video here, where when they announced that Alan Wake 2 was going to be digital only, I said, I think we need to be worried about what's coming for next generation. But little did we know that it would be coming this generation as an all-digital future. But I'm going to help walk you through this. Let's take a look at what this thing looks like. It's codenamed the Brooklyn, the Xbox Series X refresh. Now, this leaked as part of something that apparently they were working on like 4 years ago, and it's just leaking now. And they're not backtracking on this at the moment. They're Phil Spencer himself is like, yeah, these leaks are true, but not everything is true, right? Like, not everything is as you see it. Things have changed. But if there's one thing that probably isn't changing is the fact that they're coming out with an all-digital console. But let's get into it here. It says it's the most powerful Xbox ever, now adorably all-digital. Ouch, those words sting when paired together. It'll deliver 4K Gen 9 console gaming with more internal storage, faster Wi-Fi, reduced power, more immersive controller, which I'm going to show you the controller here in a moment, and a redesign that elevates all digital experience of the Xbox ecosystem, giving our fans more to love. A beautiful and innovative new design. First of all, that's definitely subjective. Some people would think this thing is hideous. More internal storage space. 2 terabytes in this day and age with modern gaming is not that much. Games just take up so much room. You're going to still end up deleting and probably putting a lot of games on, taking games off, putting them on, especially if you have Game Pass. USB-C, yeah, we don't care about that. All new, more immersive controllers. Same great price of $500. I don't know about you guys, but when you're releasing a redesign of a console mid-generation and you're taking out a disk drive, wouldn't you think that this thing would maybe be like $400, maybe $100 cheaper? The fact that it's not even cheaper is kind of irksome. Updated technologies. Oh, let's see here. Wi-Fi is improved. No one really cares about that. I mean, if you're really serious about playing online, you're probably running Ethernet into your console anyway. A radio for improved accessory experience. Improved efficiency in the die shrink, whatever the heck that means. Improved sustainability story. The fact that this is even a bullet point for some of these things. Reduce PSU power by 15%. New low-gen standby mode, 20% of the current Xbox standby mode. Who cares? Increased use of PCR in the house, whatever the heck that means. And 100% recyclable packaging. Wow. Okay, so first of all, I don't know. This is a lot to take in. First, let's talk about the controller so we can kind of get the full package here so you can see what we're getting into. So this is kind of one of the things that they're trying to push with this console. I haven't actually looked super into this slide yet, so I'm kind of seeing some of these things for the first time. Rechargeable battery. The biggest thing here is that it's going to have haptic feedback, so it's going to be like a PS5 controller. You know how you kind of can feel the triggers resisting and it feels like you're pulling the trigger of a gun. The rumble feedback is actually going to be much improved, which is nice because that is one of my favorite things about the PS5 for the 10 games that use it. There's not a lot of PS5 games that actually really use the vibration the way it should, like Astro's Playroom did or Returnal, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole other video. But they are going to release it with this new controller, which I guess is a nice improvement because I do actually like the feel of Series X controllers. So if they can kind of take the best of the DualSense and put it in an Xbox controller, I'm okay with that. But I did want to actually, show this controller here to you guys. But now let's break down. Get rid of that. Let's break down the scariness of this, right? So Microsoft has always sort of been, in recent years, all about the backwards compatibility. You can play your 360 games on the Xbox Series X or Xbox One. Isn't that great? Which is cool. Yeah, it's definitely been awesome. But then recently they just announced that they're shutting down the Xbox 360 store. And apparently, according to Microsoft, they can see the numbers, obviously, of people that are actually using 360 games on their more recent consoles, and they said the community is very small. The data that's out there also shows that something like 50% of everybody that owns an Xbox a majority of them rather own the Series S instead of the Series X. So more people own a digital only console. The 70% actually comes from Sony's end, where it is said that 70% of people that buy games on PlayStation 5 buy digital versions. The 30% that is left over by the physical versions, and the cost of people that are like converting microtransactions, digital upgrades, subscriptions is far greater when it comes to digital games than physical games. This is not sounding good. So you might be like, well, they could always add on a disk drive, it's rumored that they're going to add like a USB disk drive, sort of like what they did with the Xbox 360 with the HDD, or the HD DVD drive, where you can like plug it in and play it off on the side. But let's be real here, that's just the temporary solution. Are they really going to do something like that for the next generation of consoles? It's possible they might do that for the Series X in 2024, but the scarier thing is eventually they're going to stop caring about stuff like that, and it's just not going to be worth it for them. Because right now, if 30% of people are buying physical games, by next generation, it's feasible to believe that that number might be down to like 15 or 20%. And is it really going to be worth it for them to go through the trouble of catering to that 15 or 20%? Look at what they're doing to Xbox 360 fans. Are they catering to those fans by getting rid of the store completely and taking out a disk drive so you can't use your physical 360 games anymore? No, they're just brushing them off to the side. So who's to say that's not going to happen for just physical game owners in general as time goes on? So this is really scary for game preservation, and if you think PlayStation isn't going to follow suit, it's pretty much follow the leader in the video game industry. Look at Xbox copying the haptic feedback for the PlayStation 5 controller. Whatever seems to work or people seem to be positively receptive to, the other companies will follow suit. Heck, there's rumors that Microsoft is coming out with a single-handed controller. Similar, I guess, to, the Switch Joy-Cons. Anything that seems to work in the gaming industry, the others will definitely follow. So if Sony and Nintendo are definitely going to be watching very closely. I feel like Nintendo might be a little bit more hesitant to follow suit quicker than Sony would. But if this really works out for Microsoft and they see an uptick in sales and just general positive receptiveness to these new digital consoles, I think you can definitely see the next generation is going to be all digital. I would be quite surprised if you saw a launch with the disc drive built in for the PS6 and whatever the heck the next Xbox is. When it comes to the sort of, I don't know, the collectability side of this, I'm sure a lot of you are kind of worried about, what's going to happen to all of my physical games. Is it going to be impossible to buy them? Is it going to be... It's already kind of like that. If you go into a store right now and you try and buy a physical game for the Xbox Series X, and in even some cases PS5, there are reports that a lot of game stores are getting single copies in. This has been happening and being phased out for a long time. This is no new revelation here. Physical games are definitely being phased out, and it's a scary future. Anyway, I don't want this video to go on too long. I just kind of wanted to voice my opinion on this. I'm definitely not a fan of it. Do I buy digital games myself? I do. It's more so for the convenience sake, because I do a lot of impulse buying for streaming purposes. Just last night I bought a digital game, Eternights, on my PS5 because the physical version is not out. It's coming out in November, and I'm going to be really busy with other games in November, so I'm like, you know what, $30, we'll buy the digital version. Am I part of the problem? I mean, we're being conditioned to be into digital games. I mean, the convenience is there, it really is, and there's this new thing I'm not really too into, where games are releasing digitally first and then getting physical releases later. It's almost as though we're being almost forced into buying digital games if you want to play the games you want to play right away. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. Are you planning, if this new console comes out and it's digital only, are you going to go out of your way to get an older Series X to get a disc drive if you don't have the Xbox? When the new console generation comes, are you guys going to get the digital only consoles if that's your only choice? I would be really interested to know. I mean, me being me, yes, I'm still going to buy them regardless, but the way things are going with stuff like Game Pass and these subscription services, this is what they're pushing. It's been coming to a head for a long time now. It feels good to be a retro game collector, right? Like, all these physical games here aren't going anywhere for quite a long time until, inevitably something happens to the discs, a couple of decades from now. But they're pretty future-proof for the most part. At least you get to own them. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, because we do a lot of these kind of discussion topics here on the channel, talking about both retro and modern games. Thanks for watching.